2019 Festival of Miles here with Jordan Mann, the Springfield, Illinois native, who moved to St. Louis and went to MICDS here at in high school, was a all-stater for the Rams, and went on to college at Brown University, and then finished up his collegiate career at Providence College and NCAA All-American and the Steepler. And now third year post-collegiate?
Third year post-collegiate.
Tearing it up, kind of did for that first year, a little bit of pacing, and then turned into, boy, he's world-class runner. Tell me the PRs again?
So in the mile, 3:58, like 9 or something, 8:28 in the steeplechase, 7:50 point something in the flat 3K.
Okay.
And like 13:45 for the 5K.
And then talk to me about, I know last year at USA's in June in Des Moines, it was kind of a Sunday night. Steeple was one of the last events and had about a 2-hour, maybe 90-minute rain delay, and you waited it out and then had a huge race, 8:28 PR for 5th place at USA's. Yeah. Tell me kind of your big breakout race to put you on the map. You got the New Balance sponsorship, and at some point, and you repping the Oceanside Athletic Club. Tell me, take me back to last June and your big race at USA's.
I mean, that race was obviously unreal. I think if the way I looked at it when I went into that race, I kind of said, I looked at the field and I said, all right, I've been in a lot of these races. I've been 4th at Peyton, 4th at Oxy, missed 5th at Peyton, 4th at Oxy. And I said, I think if I look down the list, there's 3 guys I definitely can't beat. One guy who I normally can't beat, who might be injured or something. That was Stanley Cabeni, who I ended up being about a half second after. And I said, I think I can beat just about anyone else in this final.
Right.
Now, what's more likely to happen in a race like that, when you're not kind of like a tier above everyone, is you kind of like beat half those guys and you lose to half those guys and you finish kind of in the middle. It's a pretty good race. As it were, in the prelim I felt pretty good and just was able to kind of break away and make it to the final as a big Q. And when I hit the final, shoot, man, about 2 laps to go, about 1,000 meters to go, I went in the water and I made a move to get around guys when Don Cabral went outside.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I was just like, I made the break.
Yeah.
And not everyone made the break. And it was just like incredible. I ended up managing to pass a couple guys to even come all the way 5th. And I remember it didn't really dawn on me until after the race. Like when I was running, I was just trying to beat guys. And as soon as I crossed the finish line, I was like, I think I just came 5th.
Yeah.
I looked over for my dad in the stands. I was like, Dad, I think I came 5th. He was like, you were top 8, which is what I said I wanted to be, like get the prize money and everything. I was like, no, Dad, I think I was 5th. And so that was just an awesome moment, both to share with my dad.
Well, I think the celebration and just the excitement and lasted about two minutes, because I was there with my big telephoto lens. I was coming off the home stretch curve, so I was about 100 meters from the finish, and I'm zoomed all the way in, and you're just kind of through the lens. It looks like you're in disbelief, and you're in the stands reaching up and hugging your dad and giving high fives, and it was pretty exciting and pretty emotional, it looked like.
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, it's the kind of thing where there are so few times when so when people joke about like, hey, like how fit are you? I'll say, all right, I think my perfect race number is this, which is which is like, hey, everything goes perfect, beautiful, amazing, nice day, whatever. This is what I think could happen. And I still don't think I hit the time for that, but like as far as hitting the perfect race, that was it. And it's so rare when you actually do get out there and really just nail everything.
Right.
And to be able to do that on that stage and like really see, really to finish higher than I ever in my life thought I would finish at a U.S. championship, and have that dawn upon me in those next few minutes was absolutely bonkers. So I was just like, I can tell you, like, I had the whole interview where I was all excited.
Right, people.
I swear to God, I was like
that
walking.
went viral, that interview.
I can tell you exactly. And I can tell you, I was like walking down the stands afterwards, and I see my friends, and I'm still going excited.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure when I went into, there was this like giant practice arena in the stadium that was totally empty. And even to myself, I was like, let's go! For like minutes and hours on end. It was incredible. So.
And then take me back 2 months ago when you run the World Cross Country Championships overseas and in Europe, and you run the co-ed relay and have one of the fastest splits of anybody in the meet. What was it like? I believe your first time wearing the USA jersey and
second time.
Second time, okay, second time, and what was that like? And wearing that and having, like I said, one of the fastest splits and. you know, running on that stage?
It was definitely really cool. The only downside was peeing myself on the USA Track and Field Instagram, which happened. You know, I had a little pee stain on the speed suit, but it was cool wearing the speed suit.
Yeah,
Still totally worth it.
You look fly.
Thank you. Yeah, still totally worth it. Yeah, I mean that race was just. It's unreal to think that I was on the start line, or you know, on the relay line, whatever.
Yeah.
For the same races like Concessus Capruto and you know, Soufine El Bakali, who are some of the guys who I like watch and look up to,
Sure.
who are like, you know, heroes of the sport. Like, you know, Capruto's my favorite runner, and I'm like, oh, dude, like here I am, just like on the start line next to you. And then to go back and look at the splits, like I knew I was running well, but I didn't realize I was like running as fast as I did.
Right.
So to like get out and actually feel like, you know, for me this whole year is all about kind of trying to validate that 5th place, right? Like that was one big year, that was one kind of breakout race. But now it's about saying, hey, I actually am in that caliber of runner that's just slightly beyond the guys who are all trying to break it, where I was last year, right? Where I was finishing 4th, finishing 5th. And going to Denmark, first of all, obviously being in the US kit was awesome, and just being able to run that fast was another way to be like, okay, yeah, like I belong on this stage. Like, I'm ready to keep competing here and ready to keep me reaching new levels.
What was the split again? Was it like 6?
I think it was like 6:07, but it's hard to say because of how, you know, I mean, who even knows, right? Like the late legs are different distances. It's like 2K and the freaking mountains and museum roofs. Yeah. So, you know, the split times don't matter too much, but it was definitely just like where I finished there that kind of mattered, and was just kind of like me taking that next step forward as an athlete. And
what was your first time wearing the USA uniform?
The North American, Central American Caribbean Championships. The NACAC year, let's go.
Yeah. And then take me what it's been like the last 2 years to come back home to St. Louis and run at the Festival Miles here.
Oh, it's so special, man. I mean,
4th place today, 40.30, and
I was kind of pissed at that kid who, 359 last year. I was kind of pissed that kid came and got me on that last 100 because I was looking at that podium spot, and it would have been cool to be on the podium next to Amos, you know, having two top 3 athletes from our high school here. But it was just awesome. Like, you know, the energy from our high school being here was super cool. Like,
big
you know, getting a bang
MICDS
on the drum.
crowd,
Getting a bang on the drum, the high fives. They have the hold on, let me grab this real quick. They have the little fat heads of me and Amos.
Nice, even with the hair.
And all. So it's been it was super cool to just be here as part of this environment, get to play to the crowd. You know, it's so amazing, and it's so meaningful to kind of almost like a dream come true to really get to run in this race alongside a high school teammate and both finish up near the front. Seriously amazing. Did you ever imagine back in high school that when you were a 4:30 something 1600 guy and a 9, what was your 3200 PR? 9:34. What that you'd ever be here someday? Was that ever a dream? I think we joked that I was going to do it as Amos's pacer. Okay. Which I guess in a way I was today, you know, taking that 3rd lap. But to do it as an actual competitor alongside him, it was special. What's on the calendar before USA's in the middle of July in Des Moines? I'm running the Back Bay Mile and the US Boost Games on June 16th. And we're looking at potentially going to a steeplechase in Spain. It's kind of like it's a race that tends to be won around high 18s and a lot of guys in the low 830s. Or mid 820s, and so it kind of seems like the one if I want to kind of like take that next step as far as getting my steeplechase time down there. You know, because I think Mason's just about the only guy after those first 4 who have kind of really gotten well under 830. Isaac too, who's run 825. But so, you know, just kind of like being able to establish I guess Travis is around like 826 too. So there's a lot of guys, but kind of trying to get to that low 820 range that only Mason has really touched with that 821. Maybe even 819. But, you know, kind of basically trying to establish myself in that category. And last thing, what advice for high school runners that have, you know, are solid, but dream about trying to get where you're at and just survive a college career and to be their best in college? What's your biggest piece of advice? The best advice I ever got was from my high school coach who's standing right over there, and he said being coachable is half of the reason you're successful. Just about any time someone just like loosen up, or is it pretty chill advice? You know, how many miles do you run? What's your long run? I say, like, be a coachable athlete. Don't ask me what I'm doing, because my program's gonna be different from what your coach is doing. And you know, Amos has a great coach, and the stuff that the two of us do is totally different from each other. You know, you have to just trust your coach. Find someone you trust, who you believe is a good coach, and do what they say. However many seconds they say to run that lap in, you run that lap in. However many miles you think they tell you to run that day, you run that many miles. And that's the best reason. That's the best you're going to be successful. You know, communicate with them clearly, trust them, and do as you're told, and you'll be a good athlete.
Yeah. Well, it's been fun to watch your success, and just as you climb and get faster and faster in the performance you've had. So, especially here in front of the hometown crowd. Appreciate the time, Jordan.
Rock on, baby.
All right, man. Thanks.